All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to explore a really fascinating and honestly kind of counterintuitive idea today. What if that constant need we have to understand everything, to figure it all out, is actually the very thing that's holding us back from real growth?
I mean, just think about it for a second. Something totally unexpected happens in your life. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. What's the very first thing your mind does? It just scrambles for a reason, right? It has to know why. Why did this happen to me? What on earth does it mean? It's like we treat our lives as this giant math problem that we have to solve right now. But what if that's not how growth works at all?
And see, this obsession with finding the why isn't just some harmless little habit. It can actually become a trap, a serious one. It creates this kind of mental gridlock where our frantic search for an immediate answer completely stops us from being able to move forward. This is exactly where our minds get caught in that nasty, compulsive loop. We just replay events over and over, analyzing every single tiny detail, trying so desperately to slap some kind of meaning onto it. But while our brain is spinning its wheels doing all that, our actual growth just grinds to a halt. We get so focused on looking in the rearview mirror that we completely miss the road ahead. So if that's the trap, what's the alternative? Well, this is where things get really, really interesting. What if we have it all backwards? What if, instead of needing to understand something before you can grow from it, the growth actually happens first?
I mean, this just flips the whole thing on its head, doesn't it? We're all taught to believe in this very logical process. First, we analyze an event, then we learn from it, and then, finally, we grow. But what if the spiritual process, the real process, is the other way around? What if a change happens deep inside you first? A shift occurs, and only way, way later, when you're finally ready for it, your conscious mind gets the memo.
And this whole idea of growth before understanding, it's not just some vague, mystical concept. It actually has a name. It's called a spontaneous shift. And while that might sound a little out there, there's a pretty clear mechanism behind how these moments of unexpected growth actually work. So let's break it down. Okay, so here's the key. Your inner world, your awareness, expands first. It grows bigger than what your logical brain can currently process or understand. And since our outer reality so often reflects our inner state, well, it has no choice but to change to match that new expanded awareness. Your mind is basically just playing catch-up to a growth spurt that's already happened on a much deeper level. So you can really see how this process unfolds, step by step. First, something inside you just broadens. Then, your life changes in a way you totally didn't plan for. And this, right here, this is the moment of confusion. This is when your brain starts scrambling, going, wait a minute, what just happened? That doesn't fit the story I have about my life. And then finally, maybe much later, you get that aha moment. The understanding just clicks into place, but only long after the change has already happened. Okay, so if figuring it out is the trap, then what's the escape route? Well, it all comes down to a practice called allowing. And this is the big shift we're talking about. Moving from trying to force answers to just learning how to trust the process. This quote just gets right to the heart of it all. This isn't about being passive or just giving up. No way, it's an active choice to have faith in your own journey. It's that feeling of just letting go of the white-knuckled grip of control and trusting that the understanding will show up when the time is right. So what is allowing, really? It's a conscious practice. It means that when a change happens, you don't immediately jump to label it or analyze it or try to file it away neatly. You just accept it. You sit with the experience and you trust that figuring out the why isn't your job right now. Your only job is to experience it. So what does this actually look like in your day-to-day life? Well, it's when you notice a shift in your feelings or maybe your circumstances and you just let it be. You actively resist that powerful urge to slap a good or bad label on it. It's that conscious choice to release the frantic, desperate need for an immediate explanation. It all boils down to a fundamental trust in yourself, a deep belief that clarity is on its way, even if you can't see it from where you're standing right now. So, what's the ultimate takeaway here? What's the bottom line? It's the simple but radical permission to let go of why. Can you just imagine the freedom in that? The freedom that comes when you stop needing to have everything neatly explained and instead you just learn to embrace the beautiful mystery of your own journey. And this is just so important to remember. When we try to force an explanation onto an experience before it's time, we actually risk limiting its potential. We just reach for an old, familiar label and slap it on. And in doing that, we might be blocking ourselves from the brand new, more expansive understanding that was waiting for us just around the corner.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to chew on. We spend so much of our lives searching and hunting and trying to figure things out. But what if growth isn't a treasure hunt? What if the answer isn't something you have to go out and find, but is simply something you need to become open enough to receive?